Hi everyone, Dead Battery here, and thank you for joining me on my channel. Today's video is going to be a compilation of 3 game systems. I'm doing this because I did find 2 things in the junk section and 1 thing abandoned and left by the dumpster. First, we're going to look at a PlayStation 4, then we're going to look at an Xbox One, and last I have a repair on a junk Game Boy original. This original Game Boy had something wrong with it that I see all the time. Most of the time, this fix is pretty easy. So I thought it would just be fun to go through and show you. Don't discount stuff you see in the junk section or buy the trash. I mean, the trash, always be a little cautious because you never know what you're going to find. Let's have a look at these game systems and let's see if they all work. This is the PlayStation 4 Pro that was found. It's a Star Wars edition. I am actually just going to remove the shell off of it and put it onto my husband's as a surprise. And if you've never taken apart a PlayStation 4, it is really easy to get the top and bottom off. First, you have to take off the cover for the hard drive, and I always take the hard drive out. Then there are stickers on the back that hide screws. It seems scary, but you just have to yank really hard until it pops off. So there's one side. I am going to take off this top cover just to double check. I didn't see anything, felt like bugs, but I still want to have a look at the system. Honestly, it didn't matter because I'm just stealing the cover. Same thing with the other side, just yank. Now this is my husband's PlayStation 4 Pro, which we found in the junk section for under $100, and it was extremely filthy. But after cleaning it, I swapped out for an SSD and it works beautifully. Star Wars front and back, they are coated in dust. I know you can't see it very well in the camera. I'm just gonna give everything a good wipe down. To get them back on, you just have to kind of put it over the lip on the one side and then push down and it snaps into place. Same thing with this side. I am definitely going to wipe it all off. There you go. You can see the dirt. And then once again, put the top on, kind of put it over the lip, and then the rest of it snaps down into place. So now my husband has a PlayStation 4 Star Wars, even though it's not, and I know a lot of people may say, why didn't you swap out the hard drive? Since I already took all the time to clean his really well because it was a mess, I didn't want to have to do that to the second one until later on. So I just swapped out the case and gave it to him. He really was excited that he now has the Star Wars one. So next system I found in the junk section, and it was kind of an oddity that I found it. I found an Xbox One. And if you didn't know, in Japan, Xboxes are harder to come by and not as popular, and finding them in the junk section is really odd as well. So let's have a look at it. So here's what the Forza Xbox One looks like, and it looks really good, but I can definitely see the dust through the cracks, and there's some scratching on the bottom. I'm not too sure what happened. And there's definitely some scuffs here and there. So to open up an Xbox One, you have to take this side off first. And you can also take the sticker off. Honestly, it's not going to stop you from opening it, but it's there. Next, I find is the most difficult part I've ever had. I have so much difficulty getting these apart. I don't know if it's just me, let me know in the comments, but I find pulling this apart is difficult. Once you get it apart, be really careful. This ribbon is your power ribbon, and it is looped around where it's connected to. And you have to get that loop up before you can open it up. See how it has that loop there? It holds it into place. And that is a lot of dust just chilling. That is now apparently my pet bunny. Next step is taking the wireless panel off, and then once you take all the screws out of the top, you can take this top off. I can definitely see all the dust just sitting inside. I don't know if you can see it on camera as well, but it's just kind of layered. And it comes out of the bottom. And after everything's unplugged, you can just remove the hard drive and then the disk drive. They're just sitting in there. And the two brackets snap off the side here, and then the white one actually has a screw in it. There's 4 black screws on the back that hold it all down. Then there are 4 more silver screws. I'm gonna take it completely apart so I can put some more thermal paste on it and make sure that there's not tons of dust in the heatsink. Once all the screws are out, you can lift it off of the metal tray. It just takes a little wiggling to get everything out of place. After it's out of the tray, you need to pop off this pressure bracket, and the best way to do it is get a flathead screwdriver, stick it in between and twist it a little bit, and it'll snap all of them off. Because I don't know how long this has been sitting, I am going to clean off all of the thermal paste and then reapply some new paste. However, when I grabbed my thermal paste, I realized I didn't have enough, so I put on what I could, and then the next day I went to the store to get some more and reapplied the rest of it. I didn't show it on camera, however, I did take every piece outside and I sprayed all the dust off and wiped everything off to get it clean again. Once everything is clean, it's just working back in reverse to get it all back together. And I would keep record of where you get the screws from, but a lot of the screws that come from the same area are all the same size. So just make sure you know where they're going. But it's really hard, I think, for this system to put one in the wrong spot. Putting it back together is just as difficult, I feel, because you have to get that ribbon into place perfectly and then get this front on. Now I just need to test it and see if it works. And from what I can tell, it does work. So the last thing I have for you is something that I really think everybody should see. And if you don't know, this is actually a fixable thing. So the last thing I found was a Game Boy. It was actually for a friend who was collecting some game systems for his brother, and he wanted to give him a whole bunch of game systems for his birthday that he didn't have. So we got a Game Boy Color. I found him a GameCube as well as a Dreamcast. And the last thing was an original Game Boy. Now, they don't go for too much, but this one was in excellent condition and it was only 55,000 yen. And after checking the photos, it had tons of lines on the screen. And if you didn't know, that is actually fixable. So I'm going to show you how I fixed it. And honestly, editing this video and taking it apart takes longer than it does to fix this. So this is the Game Boy original. It does not have any yellowing. It looks really good, but as you can see here, half the screen just has lines on it. So now to take this apart, it's just 6 screws and they are Y. So there's 4 screws at the top and then there are 2 screws underneath the batteries. Once those are out, it kind of comes apart like a clamshell. Don't pull it apart because there is a ribbon that's attached. This one just kind of pulls out, so just wiggle it gently to get it out of place. For this repair, you will have to take this side of the motherboard out, and you'll see why in a second. But to get the motherboard out, it's just a couple more screws, but they're all regular Phillips head, so you will have to change your bit. So now that this part of the motherboard is not connected to the front, you will have to reattach the ribbon. So there is a little black strip at the bottom of the screen. You're going to have to peel it off, but don't throw it away because you do need it. And right here is where the screen is attached. And sometimes those traces come up. So all we're going to do is run a soldering iron across it. This is probably the only time I'll tell you, go ahead and put the batteries back in and turn it on. Now that I have it on and I can see the screen, all you do is get your iron hot, put it down, and just gently go across. And it looks bad at first, but now you can see all those traces are going back down. Now I am pulling some up because I'm going across, and since there are multiples, I'm just going to do the whole entire screen. So I'm just running it across the top, bit by bit. I did take a quick break just in case it was getting too hot. I don't know if it can get too hot. Usually I just do this part very quickly. And there you have it. It is now repaired. No problems. I think this is one of those fixes that everybody should give a try because you can definitely 100% do this. So as you can see, we got 3 working game systems. Unfortunately, one of them is not mine now. It has made it to its new owner, but I know he's really happy to have all his new game systems. As far as the PlayStation 4, my husband is really excited that even though it's not the actual Star Wars one, it still has the Star Wars outside. So the aesthetics are the same. It looks really cool. Now, the Xbox One, I know that my husband also wanted one. But unfortunately, the day prior, I had found another Xbox One for my husband. I'm waiting for it to get here. So this one I guess I'm just going to keep for myself and maybe play some racing games with him. But now I have a working Xbox One. As I always say, don't discount anything that is out and about. And a lot of the junk find stuff just says untested or no ability to test. I know this was kind of everywhere because it was 3 different systems, but I really wanted to show you these because I don't always show these since it takes me longer to edit than it does to actually do the part of the video. But I still wanted you to see because I still want to encourage everybody to go out and find some broke systems and fix them yourself. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. And as always, if you like this video, please like and subscribe, share with your friends, and I'll see you again in 2 weeks. Bye.